Yes, welcome to Keeping the Ball on the Ground. Paul Slane, Kevin Kyle, special guest. Look at that smile, man. Charlie, how you doing, big boy?
Good, mate, how you?
Capuchuchu. Look at you, boy. Sue's back. Look at
what about that, Charlie? KT winning the FA Cup, mate.
Unbelievable.
I'm absolutely buzzing, mate. That boy's been through a hell of a lot, but my God, we're going on to him, aren't we?
We'll get to him.
Okay, mate, I'm a bit excited.
Is that how you've put that on, aye?
Absolutely.
You've got a couple of wee Arsenal fans on your face as well. Right, the suit's back. Look at it.
Oh, wow.
Who's had it? Who's had the suit?
Can I tell you?
Mate.
Stevie Frail.
No chance. Peter Friel.
Peter Frail's been a bit tanny dice with that.
Somebody says he did his job interviewing that.
See that fucking
Ty's not on it, but...
Who's is that?
Last time I saw that, it was George Slane outside the funeral, wasn't it? Smoking a snout. Never that black one, so put it in the brown.
Oh, man.
That was the beginning of Slaney, wasn't it, that podcast?
That's what started it off, mate. Did you see then when, on that day I did feel on the train home, it was special, wasn't it? Did you feel that,
We
mate?
drove up the road, mate.
I wasn't on the train.
You were on the train? I did feel that day, Charlie, but sitting there, mate, there was something different in the air, wasn't there?
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Oh, just unreal, mate.
What was the smell? Could you smell it?
That harsh, wasn't it?
Unreal, man. That was the one you said about your dad's suit, wasn't it?
I
actually spoke to Peter Lowell, right, and he's still not been able to get that smell off his head.
Farts. I said to you, I said, Big Charlie, come back on. He was like, whatever you do, don't mention me. Because he was like, I had to change my logo the last time. Because people kept coming up, saying, but it suits you, get the fingers. I think I've told it before, so it was crap to get again.
Oh, have a wee look for his Blackburn twang. He does that, mate. See, when he goes to a club, remember you had that mad Aberdeen twang when you were up there?
Just getting in with the locals, know what I mean? And it sticks.
Kev, what's happening, big man? How you doing?
No, I'm good, mate. Sorry, good to see Charlie. Obviously, I wasn't invited to the last Charlie Mulgrew episode, so I missed that one. But no, Charlie's obviously, I played against Charlie a few times back in the day. And
who got the better?
Charlie answer that. I don't know what embarrassing.
Mate, they actually played each other.
When?
At Wolves.
That's right, remember? A few reserve games.
Did we, aye?
Was that the game?
Did I not play against you in the reserves?
You played for Coventry against us, and we played a cup game against each other, and then you signed for us.
Oh my God.
And then a couple of weeks we played a couple of reserve games, and then I went away, I left.
That was the most underwhelming loan signing that Wolves fans ever have.
Was that a loan move, aye?
What did the boys say, Charlie, when they came in?
Was that the game that Dino talks about?
What one? No, you weren't there that time, nah. Fucking hell.
Nah, the Wolves was good, because I remember turning up and a few of the older boys like, oh, we're just I think you went in on loan or something, maybe left. Right. And somebody says, oh, we've just had a Scottish boy in, Big Charlie, you know him? And I'm like, oh, Big Charlie Mulgrew, aye. Just don't know him, no. No, so obviously there's connections there, so it's good to have him on the show, and I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, did you see his reaction at his return last week? No. Reaction's been unreal. It was like the reaction he got when he went back to Greg's after the lockdown.
Oh, on that note, Si, £10 off your dinner the day.
Is it?
Half price meals everywhere. It's like fucking waking up on Christmas morning every day this week to Wednesday.
Mate, it was some reaction for it.
Unbelievable, mate, but I swear to God, see when I watched it back, I couldn't stop cringing at the guitar.
Oh, you were brilliant at it.
I was so awkward.
Can you watch it back, aye?
No. Some bits if I feel I've done well, but that one with the guitar, mate, oh my God. Cringing.
Slaney, you were brilliant.
Good, man.
Think so, big man?
Aye, you were. It was.
Did you see
It was good, aye.
It was.
Brilliant.
By the way,
How
let's see that, the haircut.
Hold on a minute.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute, look.
What? Who is it?
Put that on.
Get it on. Get that on now.
I've got a belly.
I just when your hat came off there.
Got to hold that down so I get a belly.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be.
Right, get it on.
Just when I saw the colours there against the haircut.
Oh my God. Brings it your... Look at this.
I fucking set myself up here, didn't I?
Oh my God.
It's Stevie Frail.
Stevie Frail. Wait, who did you say, Kev? Stevie...
I said he looked like Stevie Frail that shagged Stevie Filton.
Oh my God, man! Wait, for the full Stevie Filton, like, just put your nose out the side.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is tremendous, man. How?
I've set myself up there, haven't I?
Can we just call you? Can we just call you Stevie today?
Bit of Phil Stamp in there and on there.
Oh my God, man. Can I take a sample?
There we are.
Can you get a sample?
Oh my God, man.
Good lad, Slaney.
Charlie, tell the boys about when I came up to Scotland, remember? Walked in the door, remember? Steve Clark came in, I was like, stay seated to Steve Clark, swear to God. But tell what happened with my arm.
Was it you put your arm on the back of the couch? It was like that. Who was it? Somebody says switch his arm off. It was like a dildo.
Mate, I was so confident, mate, right? Yeah, do you know who somebody was?
Oh, unreal,
Mate,
man.
do you know what I feel, Charlie? That it's a good time to say it. I feel when you don't... Crockett. Mate, I feel every time we're here we're going brilliant, but I feel when I come up to Scotland camp you seem to distance yourself a wee bit. You know
Who's he in with? Who's he hanging? Suitor.
Snoddy, Robbo.
Oh, is
The
it?
big
The
guns.
big hitters.
See, don't say that because people take that serious.
Aye. Nah, he's just chilled out on you.
Unreal, man. Right, before we get started, you've obviously spent time at Celtic. You need to tell a story.
Go on.
New security guard. Do you remember it?
Oh, aye.
Aye. I was in that day because injured players were all in, weren't they?
Oh, I've come in one Saturday morning, Kev, and I walked in the doors, half asleep now still, and the boy at the reception jumped up, new face, like, morning, like that, with a suit and that on. I was like, he's on it today.
Keen.
Fucking first day must be, so I walked in, I was like, how you doing? He's like, sound. So I walked in, going, mate, I says, boys, you tell him, I'm going to get changed, put some different gear on, put a balaclava on, tell him there's somebody at the car park. So I went to the car park and behind motors, the boys went out and went, I think it was Joe Ledley at the time, and he went, mate, there's somebody at the car park trying motors. And he's like, what? He's jumped up, he's got all the CCTV going. And he's like, so there is. So he's fucking sprinted out the door, I'm running the motors. He's like, go, and I'm like, no. He's like, go. And I'm like, no, I'm not leaving it, I've got him over. He's chasing me around motors, right? All the boys are out like, get him. He's fucking sweats laughing, lashing off his shirt. Chases me up the hill, he's coming behind me like that. He's thinking, first day, I've got to put my authority down here. I'm heavy, boy.
Yeah.
Shirt, piss sweating off him. Chasing me up the hill, he's chasing behind me like, get, just put get. You can tell he's nervous as fuck. I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. Eventually, this went on for about 10 minutes, right? He's chasing me around trees and all sorts, right? I was fucking then, ended up taking the hat off, and he's like, oh no, you've done me like that. Boys were on the bits, man, fucking unbelievable.
Kev, how come you've never told us that story? Being on the security guard.
That's fucking genius, isn't
What
it?
was his choice of footwear? What was that, square toe mule or was that a boot?
It was a sketcher.
I'm surprised.
He was so nervous, wasn't he?
Oh mate, he was on it that day.
Wired.
He was ready. He was ready that day. His mind was ready up. There was somebody coming in that day and he was stopping them.
That's magnificent, man.
I'm surprised he never caught you.
Oh mate, I wasn't far behind. He must have been slow.
Right, we'll get on to the football. That was amazing, wasn't
That was the best opening I think we've
it?
had.
He's splitting. You still watch the Scottish football channel?
Aye. I watched
No, you
it.
did.
Watched the Celtic game yesterday. Aye.
Did you watch Rangers v Aberdeen?
No, I didn't. No, where was I? Missed it, man. Never saw it.
Right, well, that's these boys then. Kev, Rangers Aberdeen. Deserve win for Rangers.
I deserve win for Rangers side, but they didn't have to work hard for it, let's be honest. Before the games, Aberdeen losing it with Cosgrove and Main's never going to help any team, but Aberdeen just, they're fucking hopeless side. Let's not beat about the bush. I don't know how you, like obviously it's first day of the season, so you don't want to read too much into things, but you're expecting a harder test for Rangers away to Pittodrie in the first day of the season than what Rangers got received on Saturday. It was, I don't think Derek McInnes would be too happy, but at the same time you've got to be understanding that they don't have two main strikers in the team. Rangers, I felt like they never really got to any second gear. I think
Didn't think they needed to, did they?
I don't think they needed to, but I think they'd have been disappointed with the test that was in front of them because they would maybe have wanted to lay down like a marker, like Celtic did yesterday.
Gerrard said they did lay down a marker.
Fucking hell, he couldn't have said that surely. Did he? Aye.
To be fair, I think if you go to Pittodrie's
And
first
win.
game of the season, doesn't matter how you play, get the 3 points.
Nah, I think they'd have been delighted with that, wouldn't they?
I think anybody, your first game, I think they played quite well. but with foot creating. But what I would say is about Aberdeen.
Would that be a worry for Rangers going forward?
I'm unsure, and this might be set a few of the tails wagging.
Come on, Stevie, give us it.
I'm unsure on
The Stevie Frails wagon.
You're unsure of what? What day it is?
Hatchie.
Aye, right.
I'm no sure. No, listen.
He receives the ball lovely on the half-turn.
I think he receives it lovely, and I think he will make a difference for Rangers this season. No, listen, I don't know, mate. I think it's massive that Kent, he scored the first game of the season. I think he's going to be pivotal this season, Ryan Kent. I really do, and I think if Rangers are going to date him this year, he's going to be him. I don't know about Morelos, but I think Kent is going to be the match maker, winner.
Morelos was getting slaughtered. Did you see him? You never seen the game, did you?
No, but I thought he was away, him.
No, he's still there.
Mate,
But it's
meant
meant to be.
See if you're Rangers, would you sell him?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Who would you put up
that's
there?
who would you
He scores the
replace
goals,
him?
didn't he?
We had that conversation last week. It's all right selling somebody for 10, 15 million quid and having that money to dispose of, but you can't guarantee you're going to buy somebody for 10, 15 million who's going to do what Morelos has done this season. So it just depends what Rangers' finances are like behind the scene. How much do they want to get rid of him? Do they want to take a chance on him another season? And what happens if he goes the same as what he's been before? He's scoring goals, but what happens if he goes the other way? Yeah. He might not be worth... It's a hard one.
It's his technique, that's no...
Andy Halliday said that.
It's no, a few of the boys have said that. Boy Josh Windass as well said, it's weird. Like, he was at my house watching the game and had a penalty and he went, you watch him miss this?
Windass was at your house watching it? With his dogs?
He brought his 2 dogs up, Nah.
Was Dean there?
No, he wasn't there, no. Fuck, nah, he wasn't. I want to say something about that. He watched it, he says, watch him miss this, and then he said his technique's not great. For somebody that scores so many goals, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. See, on Aberdeen though, like, do you know what's my pet hate? See the midfielder, like you're not playing with a big striker, you need to be brave on the ball, man.
Aye.
It's like, see, centre midfielders, my pet hate in football, drop off to get it for a centre half and just pass it to another centre half. Try and play forward,
I'm not sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I know, but I know what you mean, and I've heard you say that before.
But you're a big fan of McTominay, innit? I think he does it all the time.
McTominay's good, but sometimes you come and get it because some centre-halves just want to give them it. Different if you get players that want to go and play, then you can, but if you don't, then you need to get to the better player and let him play.
Surely if you're a centre midfielder, you can get turned and play forward now.
Aye, play forward, I suppose, but not every time, but would you want to keep the ball, but I know what you're saying.
And it was just going back to McKenna, he would lump it up to wee Bruce Anderson. It was food and drink, as you say, for the two centre halves.
Even the goal that Rangers did score, like, it's poor defending. Like McKenna's, I know he can't go too deep with Morelos.
The gap between McKenna and Taylor's huge, man.
The gap between the two, but McKenna's like marking Morelos on the inside. People are saying about Morelos' good movement. There wasn't any real movement from Morelos. The pass was played inside and McKenna's on the wrong side, which then allows Morelos to get an easy turn. See if McKenna's more inside towards his other centre half. Morelos needs to then go on the outside.
So what's he done then? Has he been...
So say for example, Charlie, that's the halfway line here, right? The ball's come here. And
I think McKenna expected to get played down the line.
I think he thinks it's come to the line. So he's come this side of Morelos.
Aye.
I know he's done this pass the ball there. Morelos has just slipped in, and it looks
And
so
where was
easy.
the other centre-half then?
Or they were like...
Aye, but see, Aberdeen did that man marking thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they did a lot of man for man, so sometimes looking, you think they're out of position, but they've told you man
they're told
for
it's there,
So would you say it was Taylor's fault?
Taylor's fault?
I thought it was Taylor's fault.
Aye.
I thought when McKenna was over, Taylor should be over and then the right back should be in as well.
Taylor should have been further over, but McKenna, surely can he go that far wide on knowing that he's seen Morelos? He can't then think...
He's gambled, didn't he, McKenna?
He can't gamble on that, because surely by gambling, you want them to go down the outside because you can then still defend that. You've got all your... By showing them the inside, you're opening up the trouble, the opportunity for somebody to play. But
Si, can I just ask Charlie? Charlie, she's a fullback, right? New Rangers play
Who's the fullback?
left back.
Go for it, aye.
Yeah. Ryan Kent, right, is an out-and-out winger, but Rangers play him as a 10. We need a winger. Who marks him then? Do you know what I mean?
See, when you talk about marking, unless you're man, you don't need to mark him.
But who? So if Kent's playing in that,
Right.
who beyond him?
Don't need to be on him. Just if the distances between your midfield and your defence are good enough, and you're all compact as a team, if you're no pressing or you're pressing, nobody needs to man mark him. People say that, who's marking, but I don't like. There needs to be. If there's 10s, see if there's no space in there for a 10, the 10 becomes a striker.
Yeah.
that's the thing when
But see,
you're
if he does get on
defending.
it, Charlie, who should be out to him? A centre half?
if the gap's small, be able to affect it. A centre half should be able to affect it. If the gap's massive, then
and that's what was happening with Aberdeen. The gap was huge.
That's it when you would do shape of play on a Thursday with your manager that, and he'd always talk about the gaps between each positions.
Yeah.
And we all need to be within the same area. See if everybody's doing it right and all going in tandem. When you're talking about who's marking who, everybody should be close enough that when it goes to his feet, somebody's there. When the gaps are too far, that's when the people can get in the wee holes, they can get turned, like Morelos did. Yep. The gaps were too far, so Morelos was able to get that ball, get turned, and slip the ball in.
The gaps are too far, I think. I've not seen the goal, but there's probably no pressure on the ball.
No, there was pressure wasn't great. It was
so the midfield must be too high. If there's no pressure, the midfield needs to be deeper.
Drop, yeah.
The strikers need to drop, or if the strikers are up, putting pressure, the midfield up, then the defence has got to be up.
Yeah. Wow, that was amazing by you.
That's a great coaching drill, well done.
Unreal by you.
Who's your
Let's
manager?
get a tactic board out now.
Where's the salt and pepper?
Use these two mannequins. Who can that be? Colin Calderwood.
No, no teeth, it's Craig Burley, look. Slaney, your pal Considine. Straight red. Did you see what Scott Arfield had over his boots? Quaver crumbs.
I noticed that just before he went. Listen, I think he had to go in this day and age, but I also feel Arfield went in with the two a wee bit. But I think Quaver. Did you play with Quaver Toes?
Who?
Considine.
I played with a big Andy, aye.
They two used to work on passing the gun, didn't you?
You in the video with him? Saying, yes sir, I
can boogie. If you say you love me so, I can boogie, boogie all night long.
Wait, what, did you cane him for that?
That was completely out of character, but I'd left at that point.
I was out of character.
Oh, he's quiet. Great guy, quiet, but doesn't say anything. And then just appeared in that video.
I know, that was strange, mate. Oh, he's now the Aberdeen hardman though, but the hardman when you were up there was Leachy, wasn't it?
Aye. Remember Leachy? You
Scott
know
Leachy,
didn't you?
He terrorised me for years.
I told you a story where he got kicked in the head, didn't I?
Was him and McGee not at the Lark Cup there though?
Oh, aye.
I tell you, the van in training's magic.
Have I told it on here, no?
No.
Oh, mate, he used to always want to join in training, right? He still thought, you know how the ex-coaches that I think they played with Real Madrid?
Aye.
It's one of them, right? He actually said he headed Darren Moore. Remember the boy Darren Moore?
West Brom,
Maybe he does Darren Moore.
He said he headed him. I went, no, that's a lie straight away.
That is a lie.
But then one day we were trading away, right? And somebody went down and Mark McGee's turned and went, right, Leachy, can you go? He's like, I'll go on. You know what he's like? Swaggered on with the Puma King's knot, right? Tanned up. But boss came to the back post and he's got a header it and somebody's done an hour, he'd kicked him in heat and there's blood rolling down his face like that. He's like, whoa, it's a 4-5 stitch job. He's like, I'm fine. I'm alright. Continue playing. Like just running down there, wanting to just be the hero, right? So I was like, this guy's mental, right? So we've played Rangers at Ibrox, right? That gives you a wee feel for what he's like. Playing Rangers at Ibrox and came out to me like before the game, he's like, how are you? And I went, I'm alright, I just got the shirties and that one. He's like, I remember wee Stevie Hamill made his debut here. I was like, aye. And he's like, aye. He says, aye. He said, he was shaking me on the corner earlier. He says, I walked down, I went, you alright, wee man? He said, I'm a wee bit nervous, I'm playing against Nacho Novo today. And I went, Nacho Novo, I'll sort him out. He says, I going out for the warm-up and Rangers going out at the same time. He went, here, come here, you. Novo came out, he said, I just stuck my head in him. He says, wee Stevie Hamill's man of match that day.
What a guy, man.
I was like, I went last year, you're a liar, that's a lie. And he went like that. I can swear to God, I'm telling you. And I went like, alright, take your word for it.
Oh, that's unreal, man. What about the fans? That help Rangers against Aberdeen? Fans are usually volatile up there, aren't they?
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Definitely. Aye, that definitely helped them because get up there to play is no easy in front of them.
See, with Aberdeen's fans, when you played, was there a good atmosphere there?
It was, mate, especially Old Firm. If you played against Old Firm, there was always they were always behind you, they were always good like that, but they were...
What was some of the shouts you'd hear in that accent? What you doing, Niebuhr?
Yeah, but...
Did you mind going up to Pittodrie, Kev?
I loved Aberdeen. I only ever played up there twice. I think I scored twice. I remember, did you play that game with, I think you did when we played with Kilmarnock. Was it Kilmarnock or Hearts? And Paul Hartley was playing in the midfield for you at the time.
No,
That's how he's trying to look like, mate. That's how he's trying to look like. Is he called?
Was it Paul Hartley?
I didn't play with him.
And I was like angry man because I was playing against Xander Diamond and I wanted just to fucking kill Xander Diamond that day. I just had it in my head that forget the result, forget the match, I just want to fucking put Xander Diamond on his arse. That's all I had in my head, right? So I was going about like a madman. I was really like being really fucking super aggressive. And Paul Hartley said to me, "You're going to need to fucking calm down, you're going to get yourself sent off." I said, "What are you fucking talking about, you daft? Would that not help yous? But you just need to calm down. Ref, he's gonna have his fucking heat." It was pure like being a wee baby. I was like, "Fuck off, Paul, will you?"
I didn't play with him up there. Maybe Xander, but...
Oh, big Xander.
Xander Diamond's alright, isn't he?
I probably is alright. I don't know him, but I just fucking thought he was a big shite bag. Or can you enlighten me, Charlie? Was that right in that opinion? For a big boy, he went down a bit too easy, yeah.
He used to buy fouls a bit.
So does he? So you do that as well? So you do that?
Because he's scared to get his good looks in trouble, Si.
Yeah,
Wait, what are you? A centre half? He said you're a fullback.
Would you prefer playing?
What's your job title?
I always get asked
Boss first?
I've been asked favourite position, right? I'll just clear up the day, right? It's doggy style. That's why I got cleared up the day.
Did you not say that at a speech with the PFA?
PFA awards, man. We're up to, it was the sports writers and I'm sitting. A couple of drinks and that, they come up and went, "You get a speech ready?" And I went, aye, somebody asked me a question. I went, no, actual speech. And I went, fuck. Nothing ready. So you need to thank the sponsors, you need to thank this. So I'm like, right, he's a couple more drinks, I've got this point of a wee glow about you. Up on the stage, it's a mad conference thing, you start mic not you on it, man. I was like, oh no, so I thank the sponsors. And I'm like, just keep my head in me, I'm like, just what I said there, I says throughout the year, all the sports writers have my favourite position.
Your father-in-law at the table, now?
Aye, everything's here, my father-in-law's sitting down there, my missus, like that. So I was like, just want to clear it up, and it's doggy style.
How was the reaction?
Place erupted, right, so I'm like, confidence just went up a wee bit. And I didn't even mean this one, I went, I just want to thank my father-in-law and that for coming tonight, because I'd said doggy style, I've erupted again. I was like, I hope you're alright.
Oh, tremendous, man.
Super.
Have you ever won a player of the year?
Never.
Nah. You, Kev?
I won the North East Player of the Year 2002, Young North East Player of the Year.
Did you?
Nah, I did a fuck.
It's a decent award.
Absolutely not. A guy who might win player of the year this year, Martin Boyle.
Wow.
Flying. Somebody said in the paper today that Celtic and Rangers should both buy him. Chris Commons, it was for 250 grand. Your wee mate Chrissy, would you be on board with that?
Somebody says it's no Susan
I've
Boyle.
not seen
I've
him
seen
to be
that.
fair, but he's a
He's
type
rapid,
of player
mate.
Lenny would like, isn't he?
Yeah,
A quick winger,
Yeah.
for what I've
I
seen.
think Jack Ross is putting
There's
that top.
another person that likes quick wingers in this panel.
Folk were told not to mention it.
Is she quick?
What's top? I'll get a phone call in.
Does she come inside or does she go touchline?
Chalk on the boots.
Chalk in the stilettos.
Chalk on the Dorothy Perkins kitten heels.
The Cubans. He's not saying it, look, he's went.
The pumps. Chalk on the pumps.
Oh my God, I'm sweating, man.
Oh, unreal. Martin Boyle, would he be a good signing? I think for Rangers he'd be a good signing. Kev.
Sorry, we talked about him last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did. We highlighted the fact that maybe he would be a decent addition to the Old Firm, squad player, and then see how we go. But I think what I like about him, and I think everybody would agree, see when you've got pace like this, you're going to cause people problems. And the problem with people with pace, sometimes they don't have the knowledge of when to run, or they run too early and things. But with Martin Boyle, they like on the highlights I watched last night, timing was perfect. Don't get it wrong, the Kilmarnock goalie kind of helped him out a wee bit for the first goal, but
His hands had the corona, mate.
he said he was injured. He cleared up. He said his hamstrings. He pulled his hamstrings or something. I think it was, because I actually watched the highlights and I thought the only mistake he made was the game. Apart from that, he had a couple of decent saves and was alright. But Martin Boyle, for me, the reason why he couldn't fit into a Celtic or Rangers, like, would he play every week? To start with, probably not. Could he work his way in the team? He could, of course he could.
Yeah, you go along with that, son?
I think he fit the Rangers more than Celtic.
No, he's not young.
I don't know. I look at guys like your Jordan Jones, Greg Stewart. Greg Stewart's a really good player and he's not got a sniff at all. So I don't know if he falls in that same category, Si. I don't think so.
No. Good point. See Chris Burke's goal, man?
Aye.
What a strike that is, mate.
Do you think the goalie could have did more?
Nah. Do you, huh?
No, I just obviously was listening to Big Craig Gordon last night and Shelley Kerr, they were in the studio and the one I watched, and
Who made a worse start, Hamilton or sports scene?
sports scene.
What's my
Oh,
God, I'm
that's
not
it.
just saying.
2 shows they've got now.
Do you know what they had, sorry, I'm going to interrupt quickly. You know what they had, right? See when St Mirren scored They had the
interview,
They had the striker in a wee box in the bottom right hand corner.
While the game was still
and
going
then they had Gary Holt on in a wee box, and I was just waiting on a wee bus coming along the bottom of the screen.
Wee bus driver.
Wee bus driver.
That was strange, wasn't it? Did you see that?
No, when
So
have they
while
done
the
that?
game,
But-
while the
on a
highlights,
Sunday night with Tomo.
But when have they
So the
on
highlights is on. So you're watching the 3-minute reel they've
So the
got.
boys in the studio as well then?
No, it's just the managers.
So the pitch is on. So when the goal goes in, then the wee box peels up in the bottom right hand corner with the guy Richard Tate, was it? He scored and he's celebrating. And they're interviewing him.
Where is he?
While the
highlights are still playing behind you. So you didn't know if you're watching the highlights of the interview.
Oh,
Per se.
I thought Shelley Kelly was brilliant.
She was good, didn't you?
Excellent. I'd love to get her on here actually.
We'll get her on. St Mirren beat Livingston 1-0. I think St Mirren will do well this year. Good signings.
I
Fraser
think-
for Ross County, Shaughnessy and Tate.
He's a top manager, there you go. I think
Goodwin's
he's
good,
going to
isn't
go into a really good career.
Handsome as well.
Did you play with Goodwin? Jim Goodwin? No.
You're not going to believe this.
He got second prizes off Jim Goodwin.
Just keep my head there. Boys chapped the door last night. I answered it. This is true. And he's went like that. Your wee boy chapped my door and ran away. My wee boys are out chapping the doors, running away. The boys chapped the door and went like, just so you know, I thought you would rather know. And I'm like, right, don't worry, it'll not happen again. He's like, by the way, what are you doing? Are you coming up? And I went, I don't know, I've still got a year at Blackburn, seeing my He's like, well, I'm a St Mirren fan and I think you could fit in at St Mirren.
He's made that up, isn't he?
I'm not joking.
Who was it?
Just a neighbour, I don't know. He's came from one of the streets, but he's came to the door and went, the boys are chapping the door, the two of them were sitting in the living room.
Like Stevie Hamill at Ibrox. Just sticking on the guy.
Sticking on, like, don't worry about him.
Unreal,
Just
man.
came out of my head there and you mentioned St Mirren, I went, well, that's it.
St Mirren, they'll stay up this year easy.
I think they will, Si. They've got they're quite
Talking about getting bio as well for Celtic.
quite a decent wee team, by the way. Like, I know the chairman Tony Fitzpatrick said that he thinks the team could go top six this year, and people obviously laughed him off and questioned it. But after yesterday, don't get me wrong, I don't think Livingston won up too much, so I would be more concerned about Livingston's prospects for the season.
They've lost a lot of good players,
They
haven't
have.
they? Lawless and Lammy, Erskine,
I think he's either now got to pick his career
karate or football.
or the bus driving. Do you know what I
Gotta
mean?
go,
Either, you know what I mean, Charlie? He can't juggle between the two of them. He's got to change his appearance in the winter. My God, he always looks when he did an interview with suns in his eyes. All the time. Hold it
I mean, I don't know who does his knots on his tie, but they are the biggest things. Absolute
honest,
wings,
wingers.
mate.
The managers.
Rocco Quinn, innit?
Imagine Quinn was doing his ties every morning. Unreal, man. Alan Forrest, so you've tipped him for player
Player
done
of the
absolutely
season.
nothing Saturday.
Done nothing. I think Livingston.
Nah, I think he was their best
I
player,
thought
to
he
be
was
honest.
excellent. And I think, Charlie,
He went to Livingston,
Aye.
James's wee brother.
Two Forest now in the same league. It's amazing, eh?
Might be good, him, isn't he?
Very good. But I think Livingston, the rumour is they're playing 3-4-3. I don't know if that suits them. So I think they're still in a transition period.
Great word.
Is there too many gaps between the midfield and defence? Si? Do you know what I mean?
Let's see.
Show us. You've just done your badges, show us.
No, because I can feel why I'm shaking that last match when I was doing it with my Steve Clark's
But back to the dildo arm.
Is it back? Let's see it.
Are you ready? I'm going to lift it.
How do you turn? There's a wire for it there. Turn that up.
That's unreal,
I love you,
man.
eh?
It isn't plugged in it.
Mate, you get any CBD oil, bro?
Oh, amazing, man. Right, Kev, we'll go on to the Celtic game. Comfortable for Celtic, wasn't it? Lenny thought they were a bit off it in the first half. Would you agree with that?
I'll tell you one thing. Neil Lennon came back in great shape.
Have you still got his vest framed in your living room?
Seen something on Twitter. It was his haircut. It was still a wee bit of tough on it. Somebody went like that. Somebody's cut his hair with a 9-iron.
Do you still speak to him?
Now and again.
He's a legend, isn't he?
Done well, isn't he?
Wow, scariest guy. But, aye, brilliant.
Did you ever notice what he'd noticed when Gary Parker was asking for jail?
What?
Do you remember that one? Did you hear that story?
No.
Me and James were in the hotel before a European game. I don't know fucking what I was in the squad. And me and James were in the room and door went and Gary Parker's like that. It's Gary Parker and Gary Parker, mate, you get any jail for Lenny? I swear to God.
That's believable.
I swear to God.
Aye.
Lenny, we came down to the bus, mate, Lenny used to have us all swish back.
Remember William McStay used to ask the boys if they had any anti-buzzer? That's what he used to call deodorant. Any you've got any anti-buzzer? Unreal, man. Kev, so would you agree with Lenny, first half?
I thought they could have been a bit more. The final pass sometimes was a wee bit, and sometimes I felt some of the players side were taking a touch one too many. It was a bit lackadaisical.
But when they're going forward,
But when they're
some
going
pace,
forward, like, as good as they were, right, I'm going to have to say that, see when the first goal and it was across the face of the goal, and it happened again and again, surely the Hamilton defenders have got to realise that their body shapes need to be better in the box.
5 of them in the box,
Like
mate, not one of them's marking Edward.
Not one of them's marking Edward, not one is expecting it. Surely as a defender, and you're defending every day in training, you know that when you get to the wide, the ball's either going to be zipped across, it's going to be you know what style of ball is going to be coming in. Not one, they're all running back facing their goal, not one of them's ever got in a position that they can see both. And I just thought,
Maybe somebody be marking them.
just maybe a lack of experience.
I think you're bang on with that, but I think when you're centre half, you can see the fullback and what or the wing back.
Aye.
And the only place it can go is there.
The only that's what I'm trying to get to. He'd no other option to put it there, so surely the defender's got to read
The
that.
first one's got to read the front post, and the other one's got to pick up or be ready for a cutback or whatever.
Yeah. Have you spoke to Beavis about it?
To be fair, I came in this morning, I said to Si, what was the number 6 at Hamilton called? I'm not going to single him out, right? But he wasn't a few games to get up to speed, but he looked like a young kid. And I'd like him to go away and watch the game and have a look at his body position and see what he did wrong. But that, like Brian Rice, what would you call him again?
Brian Rice,
What about Beavis? Beavis could look at him and say, like,
also looks like the Daffy King of the Hill. Do you remember that? King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
By the way, see how you're saying boys not getting up to speed? Do you know what he used to do? Pre-season, he used to do that.
This is made up, I know.
No, he did. I swear, that wasn't enough for me. I need more. I'm gonna go out with Danny in the afternoon and do more. Danny McGrain, mate. We would peek out and we'd peek out, mate, and he'd be giving Danny a backie, running up and down back. To get you ready for the season, didn't you?
That's right, aye. 4-4 with Danny in my back.
Unreal. Frimpong, mate, looks a star, doesn't he?
Superstar. But what I've heard is, just to go back to Edward, I've heard we had a really good show.
Frank McAvenny says he didn't look interested.
Frank got absolutely slaughtered. Frank will be honest under his
No,
bed.
that Frank will care, but
slaughtered.
When did he say it?
The day before the game, mate, and then he scored a hat-trick.
I know. He was a bit fearless morning, wasn't he?
No, he wouldn't even care.
Mate, I heard, if you're a really good source down south, and you can back me up here because you heard it as well, that Edward, Leeds and Leicester are prepared to put in a massive bid. But, so that's the two clubs.
I didn't hear that.
Did you know?
No.
Who was it? I thought it was with you, no?
No. You're shaking again.
Oh, I know.
Unplug that! Here, I'll get it now, watch it. That's half at the back.
Was it not Richard Keezy that told you?
No, but it's Keezy and Gray, aye.
Keezy and Gray.
Keezy and Gray. We'd love to get 80 on it. Horrible guys.
What did you hear?
No, I've heard Leeds and I can't put my horns out in case I get caught shooting. But Leeds and Leicester met me.
You were more comfortable when you had the heart snap on.
I'll get back going. Stevie Phil. No, listen, I've heard they two got. I don't feel serious when Charlie, you're on. I go under my shell. I
go under my shell.
Put
that tie in Ty's hands again.
Hostages. Put something in my mouth. Here,
Celtic can't let Edward go, can they?
No, but I know, mate. But then I've heard also that 2 massive clubs are coming in for him.
Who?
Arsenal.
I could see him at Arsenal, eh?
Because of Aubameyang's leaving, and.
By the way, did this not come through with that jumper?
That was actually my dad's tie. That was the one he wore that day.
Imagine he wore a shirt like this.
No, he wore that. Mate, he wore that tie the day I signed. I swear that was the tie. But I said to him, I was like, "Here's your suit," and he's like, "You're not getting it." And that's what he said to us. I was like, "I'm going to put it." She was like, "You're not getting it. You can take your tie." That was the tie he wore. Imagine Peter Lawler looking at that.
Was he smoking this now when he was?
Aye, there's fag burns on it, both mate.
I'm looking as well.
Outside the funeral.
Not even.
It's a shame that.
What happened to her Paul's a sin?
My dad kept saying Peter Lawler, boy's brilliant. He kept saying it.
My boy's the future, innit?
He's like shooting his one, and when it was there, and he's like, "My boy's fucking brilliant." He said to Peter.
Oh, it's unreal, man. But Kev, Celtic can't let Edward go, can they?
No.
Need to keep him for this last
They'll
year.
not let him go, Si. I think.
How much would it take to get him away? 30?
I would say 30. I don't know. Like,
But that's not any teams, eh?
That's nothing. No. But what you're getting with Edward is, as good as he is in the Celtic team, and as good as a Celtic team it is, if he goes to a top club in England with even more superstars in the team, how good will he become?
Yeah.
I think he's next level. He just looks like he. When he says like that old cliche they used to say about Wayne Rooney, the old like kid in the park, he doesn't look like that. He just looks like he's so relaxed about his game. He understands where he is. He knows his touch. He's
making Scottish football look so easy, isn't he?
Aye, it's as if it's like, if I've got to go out there and day, I'll just turn up the day for 60 minutes and I'll get a wee hat trick, then I'll come off. He's just.
Do you think he's better than Dembele now?
It's hard to
Can't
say.
still get, you know,
Dembele's doing well, isn't he?
Different.
Dembele's an animal, isn't he?
Unbelievable signing.
Celtic they keep producing these kids but these signings from somewhere that are going to be really good players.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy.
You get through them all.
You get through them. Van Dijk, Wanyama, Dembele,
Mulgrew.
Charlie, Slane.
But Big Julian must be the best looking Celtic centre half ever.
Big Julian, a couple of good volleys at the
He'll
weekend.
be on Van Dijk, is he?
No, but better looking.
Nah, not looking, that's what I'm
You
saying.
think Van Dijk, Is that true what they say, that he even smelled amazing?
He did, aye.
Does he still talk to you? Did you message him like with a Premier League and that? Like, well
We
done?
actually played them recently in a friendly at Anfield before they hanged me.
Was he talking to you?
And then I got his tart from a wee boy and he
Is
sent
he?
us through. Aye, but he's a nice guy, mate. Aye.
Is he?
I don't keep in touch with him, I don't phone him every fucking week, you know what I mean? But
Do you know?
no,
He's missing one thing to it.
just silent on the phone. What up to?
Missing cheekbones, that.
That's the whole thing.
They're not easy to get, young man. They're not easy to get. Right, Kieran Tierney. Another guy ripping up. You must be so proud, mate.
Honestly,
Yeah, mate.
What? There must have been a stage through the season when he was injured and Celtic were flying, maybe he'd thought, was this the right thing? His mental strength is in the elite in the world. I think he's one of the best in the world. Honestly, and I want to hear about with you, Charlie, what he was like when he first came through, because I never seen him. Did you know he was going to do this?
You knew straight away.
Did you?
Did you, mate? Seriously?
Well, sorry, you never knew he was going to get to the level he's at now, but what I'm saying is his attitude-wise. As soon as he came up with us, he was 17 or something. I don't think he was even playing with the reserves, but I think John Collins had seen him in training or something and brought him up.
Passing,
and then
moving,
boxes
tempo,
straight
is that what you
away.
liked for him?
Aye, in boxes straight away, he was at it. Like, you know, that way, like, whoa. But he wasn't, when the boys are like that, fucking nice, he wasn't like holding back or flying in, but he was still a sound boy. You knew straight away he's, I knew when he was at Arsenal, I thought people are saying, oh, he's not started the greatest or bit of an injury, and you're like, he'll come through that. You just knew he had that in him, know what I mean?
He's world class, isn't he? He is world class.
He's changed the whole mentality of that club, I believe.
He's good, isn't he?
Mate, you're not wrong. I think you're right.
100%. When he's not there, they've not got that winner's mentality or that dig, and I think he just changes it all. Amazing.
Kev, you got a bit of stick for Celtic fans when he left, but you think he's justified the decision?
See, then the Celtic fans side that game stick, they don't really know what they're talking about, to be honest, because the guy is a Celtic diehard, will always be. He lived his dream playing for his boyhood club. He's got ambitions to do something else in his footballing life. He chose to go to Arsenal, and that's just been vilified by winning the FA Cup. Arsenal might go out this summer and spend a lot of money and get I don't think Arsenal are too far away from actually having a decent team that would they challenge the Premier League? Don't know, but could they challenge at the top four? Absolutely. They need to keep Aubameyang. Imagine Aubameyang and Edward up front. Tierney. They need to get a centre half as good as David Luiz can be when David Luiz has got the headspace on. He's obviously got those errors in him, but for me,
I think he'll go for another big move again.
That's what we said that last week.
Like, I look at Man City, no left back. Luke Shaw, fuck me. I know you like Luke Shaw and you're close to him, but I'm not a big fan of mine.
I would agree with you, Slaney.
Heavy hoop pole? Is it hoop pole? What do you call that?
Heavy hole.
Heavy hole. He just seems he plods about, but for me, Luke Shaw, he's not the level of Tierney by far. And Man City, no go to left back. And then I look at even like your Real Madrid, I think he's at that level. I really do. But I think he'll stay with Arsenal for a couple more years. And then
you've copied his
hair.
And so I see at the end of the day with the Celtic thing,
yeah.
And obviously fans will be happy. Celtic sold him.
Yeah.
He didn't leave. Celtic sold him to leave. So it works both ways sometimes. The club benefited. It cost him nothing through the years of coming up through the ranks and getting to 25 million quid in Celtic's coffers will help Celtic.
You can't blame them.
So you can't.
The thing that fans do say is it because it was the 10 in a row season. Is there any argument for that?
Which, if anybody would have had second thoughts, would have been probably KT, you know what I mean? Anybody in the position he was in would have went to Arsenal. It's a fact. It's easy looking sometimes from a fan's point of view, and they're looking at Celtic, they go and see Celtic every week, you're brought up in Glasgow and you're drilled Celtic or Rangers, and that's it. So it's easy maybe looking for them and saying, from their point of view, and saying, stay with Celtic no matter what. But when you're actually in that position and you've played for Celtic and you've got to that level, if anybody would have questioned it, would have been KT. He used to stand in with the game brigade and he's the biggest Celtic fan you can get. He's made the choice and you've got to respect it. Every Celtic fan, as much as they don't see it, if they were in that position, they would do the same thing.
We as footballers have short careers.
He could have broke his leg. He could have
exactly. When opportunities come, sometimes you make a decision, and it's a difficult decision, no matter. Like sometimes things come along. Like I'll be honest, whether they like this or they don't like it, I'm not really fussed. I'm a Celtic fan. When I got an opportunity to sign for Rangers, did I question it? I just went and did it. Would some of these Celtic fans, given that same question, would have done it? A lot of them probably wouldn't have done. But I went it because I looked at it as an experience and an opportunity. I could have got injured and maybe never got that opportunity. Kieran Tierney's the same.
I think
you've got to look after yourself. And football needs to look after you.
And you're only a few games away, or a run of games away, a bad run, but people going, he's not the same player.
Exactly.
In fact, he shouldn't be playing. And then see when you're not playing, and you're 6 months or you're quickly forgotten about it. It's the new one that comes in. No, I mean, look how quickly Emilio was, thanks mate, but we'll get KT now.
They'll talk about Man
and he nearly went to Man U and he never went. So I'm saying you'd be quick to forget about him. And I think MD in the same position.
See with Tierney, but it's not as if he was going to Arsenal doing the Premier League. It's a massive club down there, do you know what I mean? So I think you've got to take it.
Aye.
You were still taking the autograph booking when you first broke into the first team, weren't you?
That's right, I mind.
Remember?
Did you?
See the stuff you'll say, they're going to believe that.
Unreal, man. What about Aubameyang? What a player, eh? Mate, Keaty can find him in Buchanan Street on a Saturday afternoon, man. Can he?
Yeah.
He's got a pure...
But he's came on his
every
game.
Every time he kicks it, it goes to Aubameyang.
Do you know like that? But do you see I think it was the penalty they got? Keaty puts it at the tap.
Yeah.
But we were saying it last week. See this, Charlie, and I'm actually glad because I felt when earlier on in the show, when you were talking about the spaces, I felt you went against me with that. You embarrassed me in front of people, so here we go. See that early tap?
That's why you'll be my assistant manager, because
I'm questioning you. Unlike Bob Malcolm to Barry Ferguson. Doesn't he question him?
Yes, man.
Yes, man. Mumbles. Big Bob, mumbling, petrified. Charlie, what I was going to say is we had a discussion last week about Rodgers, about passing, and I'm getting really sick of it because. But you were at with Rodgers, weren't you?
Aye, for a couple of weeks.
You any stories before we go on?
No.
No, okay. And but I feel like people are now forgetting what football is, Charlie. Winning, and I see Tierney doing it. He's playing with Arsenal, play good football.
But that comes for Arteta as well, mate, because he's seen Chelsea that like to press high, so he's turned them
direct.
So I don't think it is.
Can't just keep playing the same way all the time.
I don't think that's just, they're still trying to win, but they feel that's the best way of winning.
Yeah.
And they don't, I respect Rodgers in the way he plays because then the boys know what they're doing.
Right.
So they all know he doesn't like channel balls, so don't play them. So he's willing to take responsibility. I don't know, I never got this far with him, but I assume he's taking responsibility and saying, if you play it short and you lose it, I'll take responsibility. So the boys know their job, so everybody's clearing their job. So
but does there need to be more than one way to play, Charlie? You can't just play that all the time.
Another team.
No, well, you're saying there, Arteta likes to play football, but he's spotted.
That's what I'm saying.
They're high,
so
spin.
Rodgers add that more to him? Because he's got to get the same way.
Well, I can't comment too much because maybe he does, or doesn't he? I don't know.
Aye.
But if he doesn't, then you would maybe should know how to adjust. But is there teams that would be that high in the SPL, or maybe he does in the Premier League?
I think teams in the SPL do that. Pressure high.
Do they? Aye.
He didn't get a minute, mate.
Aye, well, maybe he should then. If he didn't, I don't know if he did or he didn't. But
Kev, he's playing left back three just now for Arsenal. Could you see that happening for Scotland with Robertson left wing back?
I think
we've not really got any good left-footed centre halves to play in left three.
We've got the two best left-footed players, and they're both in the same position. But no, to me, having up to Celtic training ground and did the head tennis time with KT, he's not the biggest. So when you think of like a centre half, the left side with a three, to me, I would automatically think he's not big enough. But in the Premier League, you don't play unless you're playing against Troy Deeney or somebody like that who's no longer in the Premier League. But you're not really playing against big strikers who are going to pull onto the wee man or the three centre halves.
Yeah.
So he probably could get away with that in the Arsenal team. In the Scotland team, I don't think that could work because international teams tend to have a big decent striker. If you think of it, and you think as good as KT is, if a big striker was to get on KT and back in, and he would struggle to.
Yeah.
He would struggle. That's just how it is. It's no down to his lack of being able to defend. It's just size against size. It becomes difficult. But on the Aubameyang bit, just 2 seconds, talking about his 2 finishes, the finish was superb and the penalty.
Was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Right, but that's the awareness of him when he sees that KT's under pressure with that ball.
And he does the run.
And he does the run. He gets himself in that position so that when he's hoping that KT gets that ball, and whereas defenders not expecting KT to get that ball the way it was. So when it went over the top of him, Aubameyang's in, it was only ever going to be like it was Aspilicueta. He's got that in his locker, pulling down people, because he's on the wrong side of people quite a lot when you watch the Premier League.
Right, okay. Scotland 3 at the back, you happy with that?
Are you still in Scotland? Like, you still playing with Scotland? Are you retired? Or are you?
I'll not retire.
No,
nah.
Quite right.
What's the point? I'll play as long as they want to play. So no, I'm not retired. But Slaney, I think he can play in a back 3.
Aye.
Or even I think he could potentially even play in a 2 because.
Go on, show us. Stick it on.
Who's that?
Just to prove that you're still on board.
What's the first name that comes to your head?
Henry, mate.
Colin
Bearded.
Cameron
No,
came
I'll tell you who comes to my head with that one. The ambassador.
Tom
Boyd, yeah, Tom Boyd.
Tom Boyd.
He is the modern day Boyd, isn't he? Big Cha. Oh, can you qualify? Can we qualify for against Israel?
Aye, definitely. Definitely. The manager, brilliant. Very good. Very good.
What,
One of the best I've played for.
Aye,
setting teams up, especially without the ball, which a lot of the time.
No gaps.
He's a proper coach, but isn't he?
Aye, he's good.
He's on the field coaching.
Aye.
And
He's on the tools, isn't he? He's on the tools. He's not just standing at the side watching.
Is he vocal enough?
Aye. Yes.
Disagree. Is he loud enough?
He is on the training ground. What do you mean?
No. I was one really bumming him up to get the Scotland job, but I almost feel since he's went to Scotland, he's kind of. I don't know. I don't know if he's left his confidence at Kilmarnock and looks a shadow of himself.
Nah.
No, not at all, Charlie.
Nah, he's very good.
Very good.
Very good. Aye, he's a good coach.
Who do you like, Charlie? Comes away with Scott. Who's the best player? Training every day. Who's good?
McGinn's good. McGinn's a good player. Robbo's obviously good. Big McTominay. There's so many good midfield. The midfield is as strong as it's been for a while, isn't it? Very strong midfield. But it's going to be a toss up whether we qualify or no. But everybody's behind the manager, and I think he's very good. So, aye.
Fingers crossed. Right, Blackburn. How is it doing here with way?
All right, aye.
No playing?
No, the manager just decided to kind of go a different way. He wants to play
vegan.
No. He's want to play. He's got this thing in his head. He wants to play a high line, so he wants to play quick defenders, and that's it. That's just the way he is, and he wants to. And I've got respect for him. He chose. That's the way he wants to go. Wants to move forward, and it's just one of the things. I've still got a year left there, so I'm seeing what comes up this summer, really.
Right. Where do you think you should go?
St.
Back Scotland? St Mirren?
Aye.
Chat back neighbours the whole
Chat
day.
back neighbours, don't get it sorted.
Chap it and run away, and then he come in for me again.
I can't believe your boys get caught. Did you not teach them anything about Nick Knock 90?
They get caught. See, is that what you call it?
Nick Knock 90.
They're not calling it Ding Dong Ditch.
Oh, it's Nick Knock 90.
Ding Dong Ditch. I was like, Chappie, run away.
Chappie, run away.
That's what it was.
We were Nick Knock 90 or Donkey Derby. Did you do that
We were
one where you jumped to your other fences?
Backy Trooping. Backy Trooping was the best, mate.
Backy Trooping?
Do you know call that?
That was Dundee.
Who's good lads at Blackburn? You and Bradley, Danny Graham, good lads?
Really good changing room. Very good. The boys are sound. Daki's good. Danny's left now, but good lad. Good lads.
Jack Rodwell was I remember him, mate. What a player he was at Everton. Loved him when he was.
By the way, he was at Sunderland and hated him.
Joke and training.
Is he?
Like that good?
Too fitted, rapid, could play anywhere.
He's like that, mate. He's like a boxer, man.
Brilliant.
Who's he at now?
He's at Sheffield United last year, but I think he just keeps going years now. People leaving it to the end of pre-season and just signing for somebody for a year. But
why do you think he can't do it in games anymore?
He's got everything. He can do it in games. Done it a few games for us, but it's hard to put your finger on. I don't know. He just,
is he a good lad?
He played a great lad. Sound as anything. Aye.
Sunderland hated him, didn't they?
On that document.
They painted a bad picture in there, but there's nobody that wouldn't have done what he done.
No, exactly.
What, it went for that money?
Aye,
or stayed and got your money, of course.
Got your money.
Like you say, mate, a club would get rid of you quickly.
Exactly.
Aye.
Kev, anyone similar to Jack Rodwell that you've seen brilliant in training? Charlie says he can do it in a game, but who can I do it in a game? Training ground internationalists.
A training ground fucking specialist. He turned up on a Saturday and absolutely honking.
Why are you staying so quiet?
I'm just thinking of wee Sean Maloney. No, but he was brilliant in games and all. But as
Thinking of wee Sean Maloney.
no, but
So that's a bit harsh for Sean.
But wee Sean, no,
Wee pa-
he was the best trainer I've ever seen, and he was also brilliant in games. But I just thought,
Never seen somebody stretch so much in my life in wee pan, mate.
is that what he's got? Wee pan, mate. He's meant to be a ridiculous coach.
A what?
Ridiculous coach.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable. I met him out in, he was saying when he coaches Belgium, De Bruyne and all that, sit him down and question him that, eh?
Yeah.
He said,
But like, why we doing this? What?
mate, he
what's
said,
he-
like, every he does the warm up, he said De Bruyne's sitting Sean down. They're all sitting round Sean, eh? Then Sean sits in the middle and they'll just all question him. Swear to God.
They just want to hear that Aberdeen accent. Denise, let's sit him down. Sit him down, get him down after
Get the
that.
twat.
Ask him about training, we'll get the Aberdeen accent
Ask him
going.
about Leachy.
They're all kicking each other under the table.
Why do you think that Leachy, didn't he?
Wee Sean, I think wee Sean's clever enough that he'll have an answer for everything that's
Oh, what a
anybody
player Sean was,
because
man. Wasn't he?
he was a
I
good guy.
switched right on into
Who is players, but who
Do
is...
you know what he used to do? Sean used to take him down the back and do like step overs, and he would let him go by him, and then he would like try and shoot in. And Michael Robbo, wasn't it? You and Robbo were at one every after.
Did you?
I was his wall for the free kick for the mannequins.
But he was always at practicing, wasn't he?
Aye, always.
Who is players in training their class but go into a game and just don't do it? Try to think it's
Paul Telfer.
when we were at Celtic.
He was frightening in training, wasn't he?
Was it? I can't even really remember. Was it?
Was he
Momo
class in
Salah.
training?
Momo Salah was another one.
I can't think of
See when
any.
we were at Celtic, who was... I know I didn't really train with you, but...
I can't even think, mate.
McCourt in training, man.
Oh, McCourt.
Oh,
He could
my
do it in
God.
a game as well, couldn't he? Just no for 90.
Anyone with you, Kev? Sunderland
I
in it
can't
now.
think of any sites. That long ago since I played football, mate.
Hearts.
Hearts.
Did you know say Jim Jeffries was frightening when he joined in?
Jim never joined in.
With the arrow bits on.
Mick McCarthy used to join in
How
training.
intense was his training, by the way?
Who?
Mick McCarthy.
Oh my God. He just wanted the highest level of...
Would he ever ken you, Charlie?
He was the
McCarthy?
most intense,
He
honestly.
was- More than Lenny?
I went for Strachan to down there, thinking, was it Celtic? You come out, you up here, you're
Wet behind ears.
Aye, get down there.
Soaking behind ears.
Honestly. Proper showed me what a professional does. I was like, wow, I'm miles away here.
What was it you won? What were you?
It was too heavy. I thought it was alright. It was too heavy.
But was on you?
It was on me for the start. But it was brilliant. Like,
Aye.
didn't like me, but
That's surprising.
but it was brilliant. Like, I still say that. He was like on us, and he just made me a much better person.
Aye, I think that's what his knowledge of football is there, his coaching experience there, but ultimately he just wants you to be a good human being
Person,
first and foremost, and if you can get that right, everything else should be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But,
He's been doing the commentary on Sky, the Championship game. He's brilliant on it.
Is he? Aye,
man.
I've
Really
not
good.
listened to it. Yeah, that's good because I have a respect for him and big hard bastard.
Just talk about honesty, man. He is right to the point.
Aye.
Just pull you, no messing about. Pull you, tell you what he wants for you.
Coach Carter.
Aye, and you know.
Do you speak to any of your youth team managers still?
Youth team managers. You know what, Si? I don't. I spoke to the head of the Sunderland Youth Academy who signed me all the years ago, a guy called Ian Branfoot, not so long ago, and I had a good chat with him, but it's amazing how you forget about these guys that actually made you what you were and had the career that you had, and you just kind of fucking patch it to one side and never ever keep in touch with them. But now that you've mentioned that, I think I might get the phone book out. But I had, remember big Ricky Sprazier? No,
Scotland.
he was my youth team manager, right? And he put the fucking fear of death into me. No, he was a very good, like as a youth team coach. I thought he was one of the best because he just used to see if you was only carry on or stupidness in your head. That big fucking stupid. We used to call him Lego head because he had like his. He had, you know, when you take the hair after wee Lego men, it's that wee plastic shine.
Say
It's the
Lego
same,
again, please.
It's the same haircut all the time.
Say Lego.
That was big Ricky Lego head. And but he used to fucking scare the shit out of me, you fucking big Scottish coming down here.
He was Scottish and
he was Scottish. He's coming here Scottish. You coming down here fighting your fucking swaggering about. You've done fucking nothing. Done nothing.
Love that.
You'll be back up that road as quick as you got down here.
Brilliant.
And that was it. You just listened to what he told you and you followed it and it worked in the end.
The reason I'm asking is because this man is in constant contact with a certain Mr. McStay.
Is he? Aye.
Tell me about the Zoom chat.
Oh, you done the quiz, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's
What other youth team would this happen, mate?
He was brilliant, wasn't he?
Oh my God.
We get a Zoom chat going.
A quiz, per se.
A quiz, aye.
Can't say per se.
He came on. Came in on a youth, it was a few
Played a few years ago.
Oh my God.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
His missus was phoning him, he was trying to act cute, he's like, patching his missus' phone calls, man, wasn't he?
How we were telling him to get the phone off, like, come on, another couple of hours. He was talking to him, but he loves it, didn't he?
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, he's brilliant, man.
He came on the Zoom chat with the club suit and that on, didn't he?
Oh, club suit and all.
Mate, we were gone. What about
That's
you?
amazing, eh? Still, me and Stevie still send a few pictures across to each other.
William McStay is Paul McStay's brother, aye?
Yeah.
Are they two totally different then, I take it?
I don't know, Paul McStay, I've never met him.
Really met him,
Willie was strict as anything was when he first went full time.
Hey, £2. You were not to wear jeans, mate. He'd be on your set, hey, £2
and you were
denims.
like, you're shiting yourself, but then he used to wink at the older ones, and then when you became the older one,
aye,
he loved you, and then he used to, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
That's amazing how all youth team managers are the same. They treat you like a piece of shit for years.
That's gone now,
And
mate.
then once you get to the holy grail of being a pro,
Aye.
you're like, all right, big man, you're doing well today. You're like, fucking hell, Ricky's talking to me now.
Hey, it's a circle of life, per
It's a
se.
circle of life.
Right, last wee bit, Eddie Howe's left Bournemouth.
Did he leave or did they get rid of
I
him?
think he got sacked, mate, to be honest.
Oh, did he, aye?
I think so. I'm just reading between the lines. What do you think? Said mutual agreement.
I don't know, because I listened to his interview after the game, the game they get relegated, and I felt he was, in his head, he was going to a Prem club. That's what I felt, that they're doing now and he's going to go to a Prem club, which you can see why, but
Do you know think he's a bit of a mouse?
I'm getting a bit fed up with him, Eddie Howe.
I would
Really
agree,
fed up.
Stevie.
Aye, I'm getting a bit fed up.
But was it you made a great point, you think you can manage, was it Defoe that said that?
Aye, so I think Gillian Johnson Defoe said that he can't manage Premier League players. He needs to manage like a League One player and get the very best out of them. So I think he said when Premier League players came, if they had something to say to him, he wouldn't like it. And also, I watched a coaching him.
Oh, mate, any manager that gets mic'd up for a training session should never be in the Premier League.
Aye, and I watched it, Charlie, and it was like brilliant for every wee pass. Now,
what's a pass, wee man? It was like a 5-yard penalty at
but
Camden.
what that is, Charlie, is that takes. Then when you do something well, and he says well done, takes it away. Like Neil Lennon, do you know what I mean? When he said well done, you knew what it meant. So with him, Eddie Howe must. I don't know. I'm getting a wee bit fed up him. Same with
Done
Callum
some
Davidson.
job, but ain't he?
Nice, didn't feel what League Two.
Aye, he did do brilliant, didn't he? Have you heard good things about him down south?
I've just heard what everybody else has heard, I've not heard anything. Not heard anything anymore.
I think he will get a Prem club.
I think there's a lack of a character in there. I think
I
that's the
agree.
only thing that lets him down. I think probably knowledge-wise, he's got it all. I think maybe he's
got the buzzwords, hasn't he?
Aye, maybe he was one of these players that had a good career, but was never really loud or anything in the dressing room. Would just go with the flow. So when you get into become a manager, I know that I've been that, but going by experience of managers I've worked with, you need that wee extra something. So when somebody does talk back to you or somebody does play up to you, you've got that oomph in you to reply and think with this. Maybe I've got this impression that he might just agree to disagree. Might be wrong.
Yeah, I need to tell you, see, he's a man for the buzzwords. See, now he's done his badges. He used to play fives before, right?
Here we go.
And it would just be like,
Beat the press.
just normal. And then we played fives last week. He's shouting Gegen press.
Are you? Have you done all your badges?
Incision zone. He's
Mid-block.
shouting. He's like,
Mid-block,
you're in the incision zone. Go and express yourself.
You weren't shouting scan the ball, were you?
Oh,
Are you doing
talk
it,
about the word
Roger?
scanning, mate.
Scan.
John Collins, man. When Ronnie Dyler taking her. Ronnie Dyler's English wasn't amazing, and he's like that. Always check your shoulders, always check your shoulders, always check your shoulders. I'm looking for a word, And if he's like that, don't know. So he's like, what's the word? Was it John Collins came through the back. Like, he speaks like an expat, didn't he? A wee bit American. He's like, scanning. Everybody was like that, laughing, right? The next one, we had another one, right? We're together and it's going through a bad spell. Another meeting, Ronnie Dyler's like that. This was fucking months down the line. So everybody used to do that scanning one, months down the line. He's like, right, we're together on this, everybody together, we're all together. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Everybody's sitting like that. Don't know, he's like, together. He's going for a couple of minutes. John Collins goes, entourage.
You told me that.
Mate, everybody just burst out laughing. Just came with that accent, came from the back.
Gala Shields, isn't it? You've got the accent, Smo. Oh my God. Right, last question. You've played under both, like a loud one, Lenny, in your face sort of style, Mowbray, who's more quiet. What do you prefer?
I prefer to be told straight.
Same.
I prefer to be told straight. Whether if it's good, I like to be told, and when it's bad, I like to be told because you know where you stand in, and you know what. You then know for that. You know what your manager wants off you. So I like Lenny, to be honest.
What about you, Kev?
I'd be the same because see this whole.
The managers are kind of going away from football now, aren't they?
Masking your performance with buzzwords and fucking things just to make you feel a wee bit better. When deep down you're in, you're saying, Gaffer, I know I was fucking shit today.
You end up confusing. You end up coming off sometimes thinking, was that alright? Because he's not said anything to me, whereas you were told under Lenny, this is what it is. But I think you don't even need to be
harsh.
Blasted now, you need to know what he wants. You need to know there's 1,000 ways to play the game. You need to know what that manager wants for you, I think. So you need to be told, right, and then that's how you know.
What about you, Si? Obviously you're playing and coaching.
Much prefer people to
and you tell your
just want a manager to be honest with you, mate.
Even if you're not liked, you'd just rather be told.
I hate when it's pure Chinese whispers, mate, with managers. Do you know what I mean? Just come and tell him, I'm a big boy. Scary. I'm going to ask you because I think you're going to be the opposite.
I'm the complete opposite. No joking, mate. If a manager told me the truth, more chances than that it's going to be bad. Do you know what I mean?
So you just want to be told when you've done well, and then just when it's shy, just don't.
Are you one of them just needs an arm around the shoulder?
Constantly told well, even if he's telling lies. I love Chinese whispers.
Boys, it's been one of my favourite. I think it's my favourite ever podcast.
I would agree with you.
It's
That's fluent.
It's magic.
How much was that?
Why is a lift?
Where are you going?
West End.
20 quid.
25. No, 15. Because you said 25.
17.50, right? It's yours.
No, we'll go up your house and we'll get CBD oil for this, bro.
Bro. Always says bro after it.
Oh, since you've been so good, take anything you like.
Am I taking it?
Not the hat.
Can't have that.
Stapler.
Yeah.
That's Fulton's.
Some behind you, what'd you fancy?
Like this one, I think, Mexico.
Man, I can't believe...
Yours today. For your performance, it's yours.
You see Big Barking-ass, didn't he start for Celtic?
Feel that?
Who?
Big Barking-ass.
You feel that? It feels like the grass. Feel the grass after
It
that.
does.
Who played for him? You see that?
Campo, innit?
Barking-ass didn't he start for Celtic? Barking-ass. You big goalie. Big Barking-ass.
Right, you going to sing us it?
It's you and me moving at the speed of life into eternity.
What's that?
Forever.
Life, oh life, oh life, oh life. Hey, oh, here she goes, you're a little too high, a little too low.
There's no self-esteem in vertical. I think I'm better than Andy.
Right, Giza, come on, Giza story. This is the last one. What?
The beaty one?
The beats one.
Right, so we're travelling with youth team coming back
You him still tight,
Aye, tight in.
Right, go.
Come back to Inverness. And Beatty, when we were younger, right, he basically treated us like shite. When we came through, we were first in, and he used to think he was top man. He used to fucking hardly talk to us or that, right? So Paul Lawson was the same, remember him? Used to fucking, unbelievable. He got his phone found with Skipper running across the thing with Paul Lambert, gave him it anyway. Things just coming to my head now, right? Somebody gave it to Paul Lambert, and he went, Skipper, it was his phone. So that sums him up, right? So we were travelling back for a youth team game, and we're doing prankies with the auto trader, because you never had mobiles then, it was like, there was no internet, so it was, we're looking for the auto trader for motors. So I phoned up, you still selling that Nissan Maker, mate? And all that. Nah, we're all laughing at that. But he just pops his head down like that. What are you doing? I just doing practice. Can I do one? And we're like, aye, on you go. Gave him the phone, right? And he's like, dialing it. Still selling that Ford, mate? The guy's like that. He's like, looked at his lads, like, can you put nitrous oxide in it?
Oh, fuck's sake, man.
I thought that was better than the... Is that no?